We are live, ladies and gentlemen, and we are super excited to have you on board. And as we allow people to kind of come into the room, we want you to make sure that you share this broadcast because today is going to be a mighty, mighty, mighty fun conversation as I have with me as my special guest, Mr. Jared Wilkins. If you guys don't know me, it's your first time. My name is Tracy Walker. I am an internet marketing. In fact, it was Jared's wife that kind of termed it the internet marketing millionaire mama. That's a tongue twister. And but what I really do is I seek to help busy professional single moms to learn how to grow and leverage their income online. And I asked my amazing business partner, Mr. Wilkins, out of Houston, Texas, to join me so we can have this midday money exchange and talk a little bit about the errors that I feel so many people are making as it relates to their lives, their finances, and their businesses. So, Mr. Wilkins, how are you today?
I am Red Bull ready. We're so excited to have a conversation that can change a person's situation. So I'm excited to be here. How you feeling?
I'm doing well. We are getting ready for an amazing event coming up here in Atlanta. We're doing the March Gladness Tour. You are moving on tour, right? This is the first stop on the tour, so we're preparing for you on Saturday.
That's awesome. You know, I'm excited to come on back to ATL. It is the epicenter for all things moving, not just down south, but really in the U.S. Everybody's trying to get a footprint into Atlanta, establish some type of commerce or business there because the connections are real, the people are real. So it's going to be exciting. That's our first stop on this March Gladness Tour. You know, people have been saying, you know, why is it not March Madness, Tracy? I'm like, well, I ain't mad about nothing. We ain't mad about nothing. We are glad. I am so glad we said yes. I am so glad we are connected. And I am, more importantly, I'm glad we are in alignment. And so I am a firm believer, Tracy, that it is your alignments that create and produce the assignment. And so in order to accomplish whatever your assignment is, you got to get in the right alignments, be in the right room, connected to the right people, because whoever you're connected to is taking you somewhere. That's why scripture says if the blind lead the blind, they both go into the ditch. And it's a lot of ditch dwellers right now because you're connected to some people that are blind that are leading. That means you could actually be a blind leader. Can you imagine? Like somebody could be leading and be blind at the same time. And here we are connected to them, excited, jumping for joy, fired up, going to a ditch dwelling situation. So I'm excited not to be connected to any ditch dwellers. All right.
I'm telling you, I've been attached to some ditch dwellers. And the thing is, you don't always know that they're a ditch dweller at first. It takes a while. But then you were blind, but now you see. So you must now move a different way. Okay. All right. So let's kind of just jump into this. I know we've got a few people on. Dawn is saying hi in the comments, guys. And as a matter of fact, if you are here and you're tuning in, just go ahead and type in the comments where you are tuning in from, and we'll kind of, we'll pop some of your comments on the screen if you have some value. Now, if you say something crazy, I'm not going to put your name up there, okay? So if you say something valuable, something that Jared or myself can use, okay, I will definitely share that. So the conversation today, Jared, is about errors, right? And I feel like we understand the word sin, right? Sin is to err, right? To have errors. But the beauty of it is that you have the ability to reconcile that, right? And no matter what, the first step is always the awareness and the acknowledgement of such. And so in this word error, we've kind of broken it down and it's an acronym. I do want us to touch on each of those different letters and how people in general can identify where they are with that letter and how they can move and shift and turn the other cheek, if you will, so they can move in the direction that they would like. That cool enough?
Absolutely. I'm fired up.
All right. So really quickly, we've got Dawn from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Dawn just moved to the central time zone, so she gets confused because she's used to being on Eastern. So we working with Dawn, right? We got Dion from, he say Fat Atlanta. Yeah, because you be eating, I think, Dion. Is that what's going on? Eating. We've got Mr. David Hayden in Marietta. He'll be at the event on Saturday.
Awesome.
An amazing business partner of ours. We've got Herschel, who's in Medellin, Colombia, preparing for us, by the way, in Bogota. We've got some things going. And Terry Gray from New Jersey, right? Just to start things off. All right. So, guys, the very first letter in E.R.R.O.R is E. All right. And the E is for evolution. I feel, Jared, that a lot of times people fail to evolve.
Yes.
Right. And we were talking about this a little bit backstage, right? We were talking about countries.
Yes.
But people don't want to change. They want to stay the same, but get different results. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, it's comfort. Your comfort zone is your danger zone. And all of us, we are creatures of habit. That's why we typically eat at the same restaurants, no matter how many restaurants are in our proximity, in Atlanta, in Houston, wherever it is. We have a tendency, Tracy, to go to the same restaurants. We want to go to the same gym. We want to be around the same people because that's the human nature. You're looking for a degree of certainty. It's going to be the same. Even, you know, I had to get on Chandler, my 13-year-old. Wow, I got a 13-year-old. You know, I'm getting older now.
Oh, no, right.
Thank God for Beijing. But anyway, my 13-year-old, I had to tell her because we go to different restaurants, Tracy, and she want to order the same thing. Pasta Alfredo, chicken pasta Alfredo, or she wants to order some type of chicken nuggets and fries. I'm like, baby, we at a night. Come on now. You can get you some grouper. Yeah, you can get you some stuff.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I just want the same thing. She hadn't even looked at the whole or any of the menu. It's just she gets there, she gets the menu no matter where we are. She says, oh, I want to, do y'all have chicken Alfredo? And everybody has a chicken Alfredo dish, right? No matter where you are. Yeah, we have it. Oh, I want that. I'm like, baby, you hadn't even looked at the menu. And I realized, Tracy, is because she has become a creature of habit like all of us. And so the question I look at in evolution is, how many of us go to new places and still order the same thing? We go to the same places and we order the same. We have the menu of life to select something different. But because we're conditioned based on our habits of having the same experiences, whether that experience is a $40,000 a year experience or a $400,000 a year experience, no matter where we go, we're going to order the same experience until we're ready to evolve. And so I look at it. I have been guilty of it. And I never forget, you know, Les Brown says you will change either through inspiration or desperation. So sticking with that same menu, if you look at it, Tracy, there's sometimes you go to a restaurant and I've been guilty of this. I'll look and I'll see somebody else order something that's coming down this pipe and out. You're like, oh, what's that? You follow me? That's inspiration. Because you wouldn't have otherwise ordered that. You wouldn't have otherwise wanted that Maserati or wanted that Bentley or that Rolls Royce or otherwise wanted to give $100,000 a year to a church or a charity or otherwise wanted to be a stay-at-home mom or dad had you not seen somebody else have that ordered and delivered. That's inspiration. Desperation now causes you to say, you know what? I haven't eaten in 2 days. I ain't eaten in 3 days. And no matter what is being offered, I've got to change this because in the words of Les Brown, I'm hungry. And so there's so many of us, you know, straddling the fence of inspiration and desperation, but that is the only two reasons why a person either chooses to evolve or is forced to evolve. Usher said you're going to either evolve or evaporate. So, yeah.
Well, I choose. I don't want to evaporate.
Yes.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, guys, as you internalize that, you know, think about where you are in terms of your evolution, and you have to have literally a conversation with yourself, right? And look in the mirror and say, okay, what are some things that, yes, I am a stickler for this, but this right here, I'm going to have to change it. I like it. I'm comfortable with it, but I'm going to have to change it. I think it's Drake and them that be like, no new friends, right? And I'm with that a little bit. Then I'm like, no. If you want to evolve, you're going to have to acquire some new friends.
Yes.
You have to. So, all right. So Eric says, yes, inspiration versus desperation here. And that's absolutely true. Okay. So that is a quote from Mr. Les Brown. Y'all write that down, take a picture, okay? Put it in your notes. All right. So the next part of the word error, Jared, is reinvention, right? Reinventing oneself. Have you had to reinvent yourself before?
Man, I have become Jay-Z so many times. You know, he came out with that, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hov. No, your name is Jay-Z. He said, no, my name is Hov. Why? Because he met some new friends. Because here's how you evolve. All of us, you evolve based on new people and new projects. I heard it said this way, Tracy, a long time ago. When God wants to protect your life, he removes somebody old from it. But when he wants to bless your life, he brings somebody new into it. And your job is to be able to tap into the law of recognition, being able to recognize where I am and, more importantly, where I want to go, because that will determine who I'm connected to and the new friends I'm even open to making. So I look at Drake's statement and I got to put it in the context, because Drake, you were a Canadian. You're a Canadian. You weren't known. Nobody knew you. You were on, what is it, Degrassi, whatever the show was, right? But somebody new showed up in the form of Jay Prince Jr., you understand, whose father is Jay Prince Sr., who does what? Owns Rap-A-Lot Records.
That's right.
He gives his son $1 million and says, hey, son, come on, this is legacy. Son, you take this money, our connections that I've built, and you go take it forward.
Right.
Go on the road, hear me, with Lil Wayne. So Jay Prince Jr. goes on the road with Lil Wayne, and he has been hearing about Drake. He says, Wayne, I've got somebody you got to meet. He says, no problem. He takes Drake, introduces Drake to his father. Jay Prince Sr., watch it, because he's arthritic in his mind. He is convoluted in his concept because he has had success or good success in the past. And we all know the enemy to great is what? Good.
Good.
So now Dad says, no, we don't like this singing rap. No, we don't want that. No, don't introduce him to Wayne. Jay Prince Jr., young, because young people are always innovative.
That's right.
Young people are less arthritic mentally, not all, but some, and they're a lot more fluid. So anything that moves forward always takes young ingenuity and young minds to be able to picture what the world can be and where it's going. So he says, Wayne, I got somebody you got to meet. You got me? Remember, Wayne is with Cash Money, and it started Young Money.
Right.
Reinvention.
That's right.
Success with Cash Money, with Juvenile, and with the whole clique. He's the youngest.
Yep.
Yeah, you follow me? But he is now reinventing. So I need my own to reinvent Young Money. Now, Young Money is still connected to what? Cash Money. So Wayne says, bring him to me, because I'm open. I'm looking. And Wayne hears Drake and says, I like that. That's different. That's going to be hot. Let's fly him in. Jay Prince Jr. don't have no track record of success. Jay Prince Jr. don't own no record label. Jay Prince Jr. don't have none of that, but he has the mind to say, this is going to be new and hot. He makes the introduction. Drake, who says no new friends, watch it, meets a new circle. Because you can determine the circle based on your cage. You got to decide if you want to be caged in. What you've got, here it is, liberty but no freedom.
Wait now. Wait, you hit them too hard, Brother Wilkins. You hit them too hard for the midday stage.
All right, let me come down. I was trying to keep it light. That's why I went with Cash Money, hip hop. But this thing is, you gotta be able to see. And one of my gifts is the ability to recognize, right? So now Drake says, okay, I'm talented, I'm gifted. I don't sound like everybody else. And I don't want to sound like everybody else. You follow me? Now, Drake had been turned down. Oh God, I'm coming. Drake had been turned down by everybody else. But when the right person hears you, the right person sees you, all it takes is one yes to open up the new door of revolution. All it takes is one yes to open up the door for reinvention. So Wayne says yes, they record the record, it's game over.
That's right.
Wayne becomes a more of a multimillionaire. Drake becomes a multimillionaire. J. Prince Jr. becomes a multimillionaire. Right. And so does J. Prince Sr. So when you now look at Drake, a lot of people don't know this, the top selling hip hop artist of all time is number one, Eminem. We'll deal with that at some other time. All right. It's right. Eminem, number one. In the top 5 top selling artists, hip hop artists of all time is Drake. And he would not have been discovered had it not been for a young J. Prince Jr. Who had a father who was willing to give him something that he can now take, multiply, and reinvent. So that's that.
So the power of reinvention, and when executed, and when operating in faith, right, and moving with what you're inspired to move with versus what somebody else is saying, can be the difference in everything. You know, really quick, you were this whole example on the hip hop side. I was looking at something on Facebook Watch actually, and I'm not that good with the names in the hip hop world, but whoever the young man is that actually helped Cardi to get signed, so I think it's Atlantic. Initially, when he was kind of moving her around, people liked her because she was silly, her personality. They wanted to push her to TV, and his whole thing was, no, I want her. She's rap. Like, I want her in the booth. I want her in the studio music. And people were not feeling that based on who she was presenting herself to be, and who they thought, what kind of box they wanted to put her in. And he continued on this journey until finally she was able to get on a record that I believe Mano even talked about. He put her on. He said they never released that record, but he saw it and he heard what the other brother was saying and put her on the record. And now you have one of the biggest icons who comes from the strip club, who will very well tell you, right, this is my background, but it was all about her being able to reinvent herself, which she's still, we're in real time watching her do it, right? So I think that as it relates to people in business and money and entrepreneurship, we can't look at those stories and say, rah, rah, good for them.
Right.
We've got to take the lesson and now figure out how we can apply that for ourselves.
Yeah, it is the ability to have what I call the liquidity of thought and the nimbleness of mind to reinvent. And you can take it from every spectrum. You can look at Bishop T.D. Jakes, right? You can look at how he has reinvented himself time, not just the look, the delivery, the connections, because he had plateaued and then a relationship with Oprah, took him back up. It changed him. You follow me? Before he became noteworthy or people even knew who he was putting in the work, doing a deal. He started off with a Bible study with like less than 50 women.
Okay.
And the Bible study, Tracy, was entitled "Woman, Thou Art Loose."
Really?
They recorded it. They recorded the Bible study, and he would press up the CDs. Back then when we sold CDs, press up the CDs. And when he would go preach at different churches, they would sell out. And they had to keep reordering. He didn't even know how to do it. A friend of his said, man, you need to start selling these. It went from CDs to a book. And the book sold 7 million copies. Game over. But that's why I tell people everything that is now big was once small. The reinvention comes, watch this, reinvention comes with consistency of your ability to watch what's going on. You follow me? So reinvention is not, I need to do, I need to just change my outward appearance.
Right.
Sometimes, not all times, but sometimes reinvention is being able to hear. Being able to hear and recognize what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of us become so locked into who we were and what was. Think about if Beyonce never had the courage to reinvent after Destiny Child. Destiny Child. You follow me?
Right.
You look at all different spectrums. How do you reinvent yourself? Are you willing to step out of what is good, what is habitual, and order something else on the menu?
That's right. And I think that leads us right into the O in error, right? So guys, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about the acronym ERROR, right? ERROR, the errors that most people make as it relates to business and success that keeps them from the life that they want, and how we can kind of reconcile that. And so the first E was to, what was the first? Oh, evolve, evolution. Yes. And then R, we just got finished talking about reinvention. Okay. And now, oh, we're not at O yet. We're at the second R. Look, I had to learn how to spell error. That was my error. The second R, guys, is relationships, right?
Oh.
This is what you've really been saying as we talked about the reinvention in those examples. It was all about the relationships that were formed along the journey. So how important, I mean, as if you haven't already just shared this, how important are the right relationships, Jared? Because we can build relationships with the ditch dwellers, is what we talked about.
Yeah.
But we want to build relationships with the people that can help us to elevate. So how important is that?
Man, relationships are everything. They are everything. The currency of wealth, the currency of progression is connected to relationships. In other words, it is the right and the real relationships that determine access into any environment. The right and the real relationship. So for me, relationships are not always peaches and cream.
Right.
They're not always a real relationship. Oh, this is how I determine a relationship. Have we been tested? You follow me? Yeah. You know, if you have not been tested, you can't be trusted. I need to be able to test our relationship. Let me see how you are when you're angry.
Right.
Let me see how you react to me when I don't do what you want me to do. You follow me?
Right.
Let me see. Let me see how you colloquialize the words loyalty and integrity when it's not in your favor.
Right.
That's how I determine a real relationship. Can we fall out and not, watch this, share each other's secrets?
Tell all the business.
That's how I determine a real relationship. So those relationships, and here's why that's so important. That's important because what I've discovered, Tracy, is people are always watching your relationships to see if they even want to be connected to you. Whether they're doing it consciously or subconsciously, they're always watching your relationships with others.
That's right.
What do other people say about you? What do other people think about you? How do you treat other people? They'll watch. I know people right now that watch social media to see what's going on in your life.
Exactly.
To keep tabs and to keep a pulse check on what's happening. Oh, I noticed you unfriended this person. Oh, I know you unfollowed. Oh, I saw y'all unfollowed each other. Because they're watching to see how you handle who you deem someone you're in a relationship with. You follow me? And so for me, relationships, I am honest in relationships. I am guarded in relationships. I have learned that just because we disagree in this season doesn't mean we're going to be enemies in next season.
Correct.
You follow me? So you can even look at it. You can look at it in so many different contexts when it comes to different industries, whether it's business, whether it is marriage, whatever that relationship dynamic is. And you can see that transferable truth to see, oh, yeah, I watched how he treated his wife. I know people right now that say, no, I can't do business with him because I saw how he talked to his wife.
Right.
I saw what he said and what he did to his wife. I can't, no, can't be in a relationship with it. I don't want nothing to do with that. And on the flip side, I've seen people say, oh, I can trust her because of how she loved him in spite of his flaws. You understand what I'm saying? So relationships, to me, when we talk about building relationships, I think the operative word in building relationships is the building part.
Yeah.
Because building takes time. Building takes effort. Building takes consistency. Showing up when we don't want to. Building takes just about everything out because it's an investment. Right. It's a deposit. And so I was listening. It's funny we're talking about relationship. This is my wheelhouse of love. I love dealing with relationships, right? Because I look at them and I understand what relationships, the right relationships, have meant in my life.
Okay.
And so I look at relationships from a standpoint of, what is this doing to me? What is this relationship doing to me? And I think very seldomly are we honest with ourselves. I put up a post the other day that Jakes was talking about when he was talking about pain.
Okay.
Because Tracy, pain is the proof that something is out of order.
That's right.
You understand? Right. And so many of us are in relationships that are painful. And we have learned how to anesthetize our pain, how to subjugate our pain, and how to have pain tolerance when you can eradicate that pain.
That's right.
You don't have to walk around with that headache, baby. No. You don't have to keep walking around with that limp.
That's right.
But what happens is, most of us, we are so afraid. I was talking about this last night. When I was faced with a transition, specifically in a business relationship, the hardest part of the transition had nothing to do with the money, leaving the money that I was earning. It had nothing to do with that. It was leaving the relationships I had built with those people. And here's what I mean by leaving. I'll be transparent. I was worried about what that was going to do to me. Are they going to unfriend me?
Yeah.
Am I going to be invited to dinner anymore? Can I come by the house? Am I going to lose that circle?
Yeah.
Because I made a business decision.
Yeah.
And so Jakes was talking about, have you ever faced a decision that either way you were going to experience pain?
Yeah.
The pain of either staying and living with the pain of regret, or having to deal with the pain of reinvention. Because to reinvent is going to be painful.
That's right.
Because there's going to be things that are out of order in reinvention. But I like using Jay-Z as an example, because as a reflection, a celebrity reflection, he has been able to reinvent, and it's been painful, but we promote it because we see the other side of it. So all of us took notice of the hip hop halftime show.
Right.
Everybody celebrated. Look at all these people coming together. You've got Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Mary J and Kendrick Lamar and 50 Cent and Eminem. You got all this together. Look at that. That's unity. We didn't come together. But what they didn't see was the man who was willing to reinvent himself to be able to get into the right rooms, to have the right relationships, to put people in position to shine.
That's right. That's relationships. And, I will say, you talked about making a deposit.
Yes.
When you and I started working together, we had known each other, social media here and there. So it wasn't a foreign name. I didn't know who Jared Wilkins was. And I believe it's the same on the other side. But one thing that I took notice to, and I deposited into my spirit, my bank of, okay, we're building a good relationship, is very early on, we had a conversation. It was like 2 hours, y'all. And it was like 12 o'clock midnight, right? And we were just talking about business. We were talking about, different relationships. We were talking about transitions. We talked about a lot of different things. I'm sure there'll be more of those, but what that indicated to me, Jared, and I'm fully transparent, is that you took a genuine concern to at least start the process of getting to know Tracy.
Yes.
Right? Some people don't do that. They just want whatever you can bring to the table,
Yeah.
without really enjoying that you're the one at the table.
Yeah.
Right? And that, I just want to say thank you for that publicly, because that meant a lot, right? That meant that helped me to do and start moving in a way that I probably had not moved in a while, because I always felt a little bit of angst in previous situations. So thank you for taking the time to start the building of our business relationship in what I feel is a very authentic and genuine way.
Well, I am excited about it. I'm excited to build it, because it's I mean, that's the only way we get through the walls.
Mm-hmm.
The only way we get through the walls is we got to get uncovered. It's you got to just, hey, here, I want to know. If we're going to do this, it's coming together. And the coming together, the only way you get things together is we got to come together, right? And so for me, I know what those conversations mean for me, because I'm the type of person that, I can't do anything and it be disingenuous.
Right.
I can't keep up the act. You understand?
Right.
If I'm with you, I'm with you, good or bad. If we in it together, we in it together. You follow me? And so I think it's incumbent upon all of us, as not just leaders in business, not just as people, but as a human being, to take a sincere interest in somebody. Understand, what moves them,
right?
And also what keeps that person in a place of stagnation. And a lot of times when you have given so much of yourself, and somebody has taken advantage of it, or somebody has let you down, it creates disappointment.
Right.
And that disappointment comes or becomes hurt when you mismanage the experience.
Right.
And so a lot of us, the truth is, we're leading while we're bleeding. You understand what I'm saying to you?
That's right.
We are serving while we're suffering.
Yes. Come through with the sayings, man. I mean, there is no end. This is an unending well of these phrases.
Yeah. Because you know why it is? Because I've lived it. This isn't, there's no notes here. I understand it. I was on a call last night for 2 hours, similar to the one we had.
Yeah.
And it was into the wee hours of the morning. And they came on, Tracy, they came on, and I'll tell you about this offline. They came on to hear about the comp plan. Tell us about the comp plan. I said, oh, before we start eating together, let's know each other first.
Okay.
Right? Okay. So we start having this conversation, and by the end of it, they told us, like, this was so much better than you explaining the comp plan. Thank you for this, man. I didn't know I needed this. And I said, I did. I know you needed it because I needed it. You follow me? And so that, I appreciate it. It is genuine. And because, what I attempt to do in relationships is build honesty and trust up front, so that when there are moments of when you're in the fight with that person, when you're going to battle, when you're going to war, there's so many of us that have been hit not by the enemy's bullet, but we've been hit by friendly fire. You follow me? Yeah. And it's inadvertent. So sometimes when we're in the war, we're in the battle together, and I get hit by your friendly fire, I want to be able to have enough of a relationship deposited and built that I don't shoot back.
Right.
And we end up killing each other because of a misstep or a lack of understanding or just a difference in perspective.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, we went in on that one. That was great. So relationships, guys. All right. Put that down. That is the third letter. So we've got E, the first E, evolve. First
Evolve.
R and error is reinvention. The second R and the third letter is relationships, building the right relationships. Fourth letter, O in error, opportunity. So now the thing about opportunity, Jared, right, is we can't recognize opportunity at all. It seems like, I don't know. It's just like, maybe it's what you talked about before, the disappointments.
Yes.
Maybe it's the hurt, right? Maybe
Yeah.
it's the lack of trust of working with other people. And then when the one thing that is the thing knocks on the door, we're like, nope, stay in the bed. Don't even go to the door. So opportunity, what is the problem there? And what's our error in recognizing opportunity?
We don't understand that opportunity is connected to opposition.
Oh, God. You know what? I told y'all. Yeah, listen, there's no shortage. Hold on. Portia had a comment up here, right?
What she saying?
She
What
said,
she over there saying? Gang, gang.
She said, gang, gang. Okay, listen.
That's my rider right there, man.
Her husband, I don't know what kind of conversations y'all have over the years. I know you celebrated 8 years married on yesterday, right? Happy anniversary, Portia.
Yeah. We won. No,
You won, right? You are winning.
Yes, yes.
So whatever those conversations are, I know you get them all the time, sis. But talk to us a little bit more about that. Opportunity goes hand in hand with opposition.
It does. Opposition is the sign that you're in position. And so a lot of times with being able to recognize opportunity, most of us have not been trained, have not been prepared or conditioned to recognize it. You understand?
Right.
So opportunity for you may look like opposition for me.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So what I look for in opportunity is, does it feel right? And that is an internal thing that you develop over time. Understanding how you feel about something. Now, people say, oh, get out of your feelings. No. I'm not getting out of my feelings. It is, now, my feelings don't always dictate my behavior.
Right.
But my feelings are an indication of what direction I need to be leaning towards.
Facts. Right.
You follow me? So for me, it you can summarize that as intuition. Because in 2015, Tracy, 2015, I am now faced with a decision. You understand? And I'm faced with this decision because I am now crying onto God saying, I need you to be able to show me the direction I'm supposed to walk into. Because the thing with opportunity as well is that, yeah, baby, it is discernment. With opportunity, there's good opportunities.
That's right.
But is it the right opportunity for me? How do you know if it's the right opportunity for you? Here's how you know. Your weaknesses are hidden and your strengths are magnified. All right?
It's right.
If it's the right opportunity.
Yes.
You follow me? So let's go sports. We got some men on here and some women that watch sports. Let's go to basketball for a second. All right. Russell Westbrook. He's going to be, Tracy, a Hall of Famer.
Okay.
First ballot Hall of Famer. He has done what no other player in the history of the National Basketball Association has ever done. He averaged a triple-double 3 seasons consecutively. He is a former most valuable player, MVP of the entire league. He is making, Tracy, over $44 million per year.
Okay.
He now has the opportunity to go to a different team.
Okay.
You follow me? He takes the opportunity to go and play with LeBron James in the Los Angeles, as a Los Angeles Lakers. He has shined and become who he's become, watch it, playing for different organizations in the same industry, but different teams, different coaching staff, and a different opportunity.
Right.
So now he makes a transition. He comes back home where he's from, Los Angeles.
Okay.
To now play for the Los Angeles Lakers with one of the arguably greatest players to play in the history of the sport in LeBron James,
right,
who now is playing with Anthony Davis, who's another top 10, top 15 player in the league currently. And Russell Westbrook, the excitement, the anticipation for them to do what they were going to do in this opportunity was at an all-time high. Before, Tracy, they even played their first game together, people were calling them a favorite to make it to the finals, to be able to maximize this what? Opportunity. They begin to play. 5 games in, 10 games in, 15 games in. They are now, the pundits, the reporters, even the teammates and coaching staff are looking at Russell Westbrook and saying, what's wrong with him? Why he plays so badly? Why he can't shoot? His turnover rate's so high. What's the problem? Why is this team that was a winning team the year before, the year prior to that, they won a championship? Why is it now that he has come over and they're performing below expectations?
Mm-hmm.
Someone who averaged a triple-double, someone who was one of the highest paid people in that profession. Right. Why is it that in this opportunity, you're failing? Mm-hmm. Do you know why he's failing? Class, here's why he's failing. He doesn't fit.
Now that's facts.
He doesn't fit.
I feel that.
He doesn't fit. Yep. There's nothing wrong with him.
Yes.
Watch it. There's nothing wrong with them. It just doesn't fit. And so your whole life, what you're looking for, what you're yearning for is an opportunity that fits.
That's right.
I'm having to deal with this company and going into this organization and playing with this team, and I'm getting castigated there. I'm underperforming. I'm underachieving. I'm not winning. I'm now second guessing myself. I'm wondering, can I do this again because I don't have the right fit?
Yep.
But if you give me just a moment, if you give me another season, mm-hmm. because every champion experiences losing seasons.
That's right.
Every champion experiences temporary setbacks, temporary defeats, but we only recognize you as a champion after you come back again and again. It may cause me to leave my old team.
That's right.
It may cause me to leave my old organization, my old coaches, my old relationships, just so that I can find the right fit, mm-hmm. whereas I can function and flow in my highest capacity. That's what opportunity of a lifetime means.
You know, guys, if you're listening and you don't feel this, you might want to check that post for just a moment, because during that whole thing, it's like you're talking directly to me, right? And probably yourself. And everyone that's listening to this, I know it's, especially if you are, hanging out in the arena of direct sales, right? That's your profession, entrepreneurship in general, parenthood, right? I mean, all of it, any area of life, it fits. But if we were to hone down direct sales, that's what happens. And as you know, people will literally try to make you feel bad because you have to find a different opportunity, because you have the ability to recognize that you don't fit, because there could be the option to quit.
Yeah.
Right? You could quit, but to have the endurance to say, no, I still feel the passion. I still feel the fire. I know there's still something left. Yeah. This just isn't it. Sometimes you might have to move a couple times, and nobody in our world likes to do that, because people are attached to us, and to a certain extent, we have a certain level of obligation, right? Yeah. Not really, but sort of, right? Yes. And we're not responsible for anybody's success or failure, but we build this trust, and we want to guide people the right way, and we don't want to mess up. And I've had to say several times that as a leader, guys, I'm not perfect as a leader. What I want you to know is that I would never lead you somewhere deliberately. Yeah. I would never lead you somewhere deliberately to, the burning bridge. Yeah. But if I realize along the way that I smell smoke, and there's a detour sign, and it's time that we jump now, I'm going to say, hey, this is what we need to do, but we're adults. If you want to stay on there, then you're going to have to stay on there. I don't have the ability to go down with you, you know, but that whole thing of opportunity is a big challenge. And I've recently had to do that. I know you've recently take advantage of another opportunity. Just really quickly before we go on to the last letter in error, what was it about the current opportunity? Was it that you felt like the previous opportunity? Did you feel it there, or do you really believe, if you look back, hindsight 2020? Well, I really went for something outside of myself, right? Versus I'm going for what I feel inside of myself. If you compare, what's the difference between the last opportunity and how you felt with the current opportunity?
My vision. That's the difference. The vision. So staying in the same context of what we are, because in direct sales, it's a team sport, right? To the ultimate goal for that team is to win a championship. And when you win a championship, oh God, I hear you. It doesn't mean we all play the same role. It doesn't mean that we all play the same minutes.
Right.
It doesn't mean we all get paid the same amount.
Right.
But it does mean we all win the same ring.
That's right.
You follow me? It does mean we all have the same end goal and experience in mind. The victory parade with all of us on the buses shutting down the city is going to be the same. You follow me? Our families are going to be there. Our loved ones that are going to be there. The people that have sacrificed alongside with us, they're going to be able to participate and hold up a trophy. You know why those grown men and women cry over that trophy? It's not the trophy. It's the meaning attached to the trophy of we have done what the majority of people will not be willing to do. And oftentimes, before you get to that trophy, for the majority of us, you're going to have to transition to different organizations and teams to watch, learn, and more importantly, unlearn some things. You follow me?
Yeah.
So for me, I in making these transitions, my vision in my last company was, okay, I knew I had won a championship, right? I had won a certain championship, but I was wanting to win and lead more.
Okay.
You follow me? I was a part of a championship team. So I got a ring.
Right.
You know what I mean? But, oh God, I wasn't a starter on that team. I came off the bench.
Okay.
You follow me? I came off the bench to assist the team in accomplishing the goal.
Okay.
So now, as I'm looking, and there's some people right now, you're trying to be a starter when you need to come off the bench. You're not ready for starting minutes because you're not equipped for starting pressure. There's a different pressure and a different expectation when you're part of the starting five lineup versus coming off the bench. And there's some of you that have been familiar with starting roles that are no longer playing at that position, whereas it'd probably be a better opportunity for you to come off the bench, Carmelo Anthony. But your ego won't allow you to come off the bench and win a championship. You want to stay as a starter and keep not making it to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm coming around the mountain, here I come. So now I'm like, okay, we were a part of a championship team. I was in that locker room. I had one of the best coaches. I've taken notes. I've watched the starters. I've been the man celebrating, giving them towels and water, seeing things. I've been that guy. I've come in. I've played my role. I've hit my jump shots when I'm open. I've hit my free throws. We won a ring. I've got that experience. Now I'm ready for more. Now I'm looking for an opportunity because that team is now being dismantled.
Okay.
You follow me? The coach is going somewhere else. It's like Michael Jordan saved the last dance. The coach, okay, the owner of the team says, hey, this coach is no longer going to be here. I don't care if y'all win a championship this year or not. He got to go.
That's
all right. Coach is gone. That means, watch this, the team is no longer going to have the same synergy.
That's right.
Because when you remove a piece out of the team is no longer the same team. So I said, okay, I want to go to a team that I believe I can be a starter. You follow me?
Right.
On that team to win another championship. So I started evaluating teams. I started looking, okay. Oh, y'all have made it to the playoffs. Oh, y'all have won championships. Okay, y'all have won championships And now the last couple seasons have been losing seasons for you as a company. But now you've retooled, you've brought on some new people, some new free agents, you've started to put to the nucleus, and you're looking for another star player to insert into your lineup to help lead this team to the championship. Sign me up. I'm ready. I've been doing my cardio. I've been practicing. I've been prepared, because opportunity and preparedness meeting creates success.
That's right.
I'm prepared. So now I come onto the team. We're supposed to be running a certain play. That this is what they told me. When you meet with the team before you join the team, they give you the play of what they're going to do, who they're bringing on, where they're going, all this type of stuff, Tracy. Now, I can't control that. All I control as a player is my attitude and my activity. I'm going to give it all I got. You're not going to outwork me. I'm going to do what I do because I've been prepared. I come into the team, Tracy, and I discover that the play that you told me we were going to run, you're not equipped to run it. The people that you said we were going to be able to have join this team, now you can't recruit them for whatever reasons. We can't recruit. So now we don't have the makeup and the mix of a team to go and accomplish this goal of a championship. That's why I'm here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm gonna give it some time to see if we can now put these pieces together, because in order to accomplish the ring, you need the right team.
That's right.
Whatever that ring symbolizes or means to you. Some of you, that ring may symbolize $100,000 a year. It may symbolize $100,000 a month, $100,000 a week, or $100,000 a day. Whatever that championship means to you, you need the right team to be able to accomplish it. So I give it some time. Let's see if we can form the team. Year one goes by. All right. We made it to the playoffs. You know what I mean? We made it to the playoffs. I'm voted one of the MVPs. That's good. That's great. But I ain't come here for that. That's nice. I came to win a championship. All right. So year two goes by. Ain't nothing. We still don't have the right team, the right product mix, the right trend. We don't have the right compensation. None of this stuff is right. But you learn that when you're a part of it. You cannot lead an army until you have been in a war. Where you gonna lead them to? You ain't never took no bullets. You don't have a plan for this. You follow me? So now year three goes by, Tracy. I'm like, all right, you know what? Not only are we not going to be able to attract the right team, the people that were starting five with me that had been here before me, they're now all leaving, going to different teams, and winning championships.
So you're watching this.
Now, you want me to just stay here watching, clapping and celebrating that I've made it to the playoffs? I didn't come here. My vision is not to win the playoffs. We didn't been done that. I want to win a championship. I want to lead a team to a championship. I'm seeing all my other friends winning rings, and they now on private planes, popping bottles, retiring their parents, setting up their kids. Their kids are multimillionaires. Their kids are making more money than you. Come on, somebody. I'm not going to stay and play.
Right.
I ain't going to stay and play the game. I ain't going to stay and play the role because I've got a vision. You follow me?
Yeah.
So now, because I've got a vision, it requires transition. Every vision requires transition. Every vision. If you don't have a vision that requires you to transition at some point, you don't have a vision. What you have is a scheme. So now I am back on the free agent market. Ain't shamed about it. Don't care nothing about what you think. Why? Because y'all are spectators in the game. I'm on the playing field.
That's right.
Oh, you finna leave another team? Yes. When you gonna join one?
Right.
Well, you going to another company? I sure am. Yeah. When you gonna win a playoff series? And then you start getting criticized by people that have never even played the game.
No.
You follow me?
Yes.
But that's not the criticism that really hurts the most. You learn how to deal with that criticism. You start getting criticized now by other people that, watch this, want you on their team because they have won championships.
Okay.
And you may say, Well, y'all have won championships, but because now I have more experience, I know I don't fit there.
Okay.
I don't want to come be Russell Westbrook in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that. I don't want y'all booing me. You know what I mean? Oh, trade him, child. I don't want to go through all that. I already know my game doesn't fit on your team. That's not the opportunity.
Yeah.
You follow me?
Yeah.
So now I know you're mad that I ain't coming to your team. I know we friends. I know we cool, but your team and me is not a good fit. How do you handle the weight of criticism? Watch it, from people you care about.
Yeah.
That's the growth area for a lot of us, is handling criticism from people you actually care about. It's not the spectators that's booing. Oh, child, you paid for your ticket. That's all right.
That's right.
It's the ones that you know how hard I've been working.
That's right.
You know my off-season workout. You've seen me. You've seen me win MVP. You've seen me shine, and I want to get a ring like you got a ring. I want a championship, like, because you recognize the opportunity where you fit and you went for it, and now we celebrate you. It's my time now.
That's right.
You follow me? And so for me, I didn't let anybody distract me from the vision of what I saw. I said nothing and no one is going to come in the way of me finding where I fit. I ain't even gonna let me stop me.
That's right.
Finding where I fit.
Because that's the main person that'll get in the way.
Yeah. Yeah, because you can go to a different team and just play the game. No, I am willing to go through whatever I need to go through to win this championship.
Well, we are excited. We are excited that you are not on the bench. Okay, we are excited. You know, I call you Cap, right? Captain of the team, right? Captain of the ship. And he's no cap for real. Okay. Yeah. So I appreciate your leadership as well, because I will say this: when you have someone that you believe understands all of what you just said, then other players from other teams that have their own level of skill and championship ability, they can assemble without there being so much ego involved, right? And that's a whole different topic of conversation. But I can appreciate the leadership. And with that, even Michael Jordan had a coach, right? Even LeBron had a coach. So you can't just be like, oh, because I'm the greatest, or I believe I'm the greatest at this, that no one can sit a play in front of you and help you to accomplish something more. So we definitely appreciate that from you, sir. All right, guys. So we are moving to the last R in error. Okay, we are fixing these errors. The first letter was E, evolve. Then it was reinvent. Then it was relationships, building the right ones. We just finished with opportunity. And the last and one of the most important ones, it's definitely not least, but it's reinvest. And we're talking about, Jared, reinvestment in oneself, but also the mindset, literally financially, to be able to reinvest in your future financially, right? So can we talk a little bit about that? How important is this reinvestment into ourselves, personal development, all that stuff, but also investing, literally financially investing and all that good stuff?
Man, you know, I always tell people that's what ROI is. You know, investment means I expect a return. In other words, Tracy, the difference between burying a seed and planting a seed is the expectation of the seed. If I have an expectation that the seed I'm sowing is going to give me a return, how fast do I plant?
That's right.
You follow me? And that's how you got to look at it. So that investment into yourself, you incorporated, has to do with, attending events, reading books, listening to audios, books, tapes, functions, everything that you've heard from me today. You're like, man, you got a treasure. That's all books, tapes, functions. I'm prepared. And not only am I prepared, I'm preparing. I'm still reading. You follow me? I'm still watching. I'm still listening. I'm still making the investment. Like the other night, I was investing time. See, a lot of people, they think that personal development is just reading a book.
Right.
A lot of times for me, it is the story, the inspiration, and more importantly, the level of understanding you're extrapolating from that book, from that CD, from that audio, from that video. That's the personal development piece, right? So here's the other night at 1 a.m. in the morning. I'm up. I'm watching, Tracy, the docuseries of Uber Cab.
Okay.
I'm watching it because I'm in the tech space.
That's right.
I'm in the tech space, and I'm wanting to understand, are some of the challenges we have faced and are facing and will face, are these synonymous with other leaders, entrepreneurs, and disruptors in this technology space? I didn't realize the company Uber used to be called Uber Cab. A lot of people don't know that.
No.
But it was important for me to note that. Let me tell you why, Tracy. The name of our current company was not the name of the original company.
Mm-hmm.
We went to a rebrand. And people say, oh my God, what does that mean? Why did y'all have to rebrand the company? What shady business is going on? You didn't say that about Uber Cab.
No, sure did.
So I delved deeper into why it changed from Uber Cab. Quick story. Because we're talking about investing, right? I'm investing. See, when you invest, you sow that seed, whether it's time, whether it is money, I'm expecting a return. Right. A lot of times that return may be a return on my faith. Mm-hmm. My belief is stronger now. You follow me? Because of what I've seen, what I've heard while I made the investment. I discovered that Uber went from Uber Cab to Uber because they had to drop the word cab so they would not face the regulations and the fines that they were being infringed upon by the taxi cab industry. Mm-hmm. They were saying Uber Cab was operating illegally because Uber Cab was disrupting the status quo. So in order to slow Uber Cab down as a company, they started putting fines and sanctionings and all these things on them because they fell under that jurisdiction. Right. Enter in the chief investor into Uber Cab. There's a founder, there's an investor. Mm-hmm. The investor had the money, the founder had the idea. Mm-hmm. You follow me? So the founder says, the investor says, I never fire my founders. Okay. But you need some help. I want to bring in a guy that will help you. The guy comes in, the founder says, oh, I know what this is. Y'all are trying to plan a takeover. You know what I'm saying? Y'all want to take over my company. And then he turns over his problem to that person, saying, hey, if you're here to help me, here's my biggest issue right now, all these fines and sanctions from the taxi cab industry. What are you going to do with this? In a moment, remember what Drake said, no new friends. In a moment, this new friend looks at the fines and the paperwork and says, oh, they're fining you, da-da-da, but the taxi cab, da-da-da-da, okay, because they're fining Uber Cab because you don't follow on the regulations. They're fining Uber Cab. And in a moment, a solution came. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're fining us as Uber Cab because we're falling under the cab jurisdiction. Okay, we don't have to be a cab company. We could be a rideshare company. And with the change of a name, they go from Uber Cab to Uber. All the fines and regulations are moved, and it moves them to a different level of success with one encounter. So when I look at investing, that to me spoke of there are challenges that come about as an entrepreneur in business. And every challenge has a solution if you're willing to invest the time into discovery. When you're going into a case, you know, I've been in many cases. When you're going into a case, one of the parts that is most critical in your case is preparation. They call it discovery. There's a discovery process. That's when they're asking for this and they're asking for that. They're asking for this document, ask for that document. Why? Because they're trying to build a compelling enough case to convict you. Mm-hmm. So my conviction about what I'm doing and where I'm going comes as a result of the investments I am making into my discovery. Mm-hmm. You follow me? Got it. So that I have enough of a compelling case and argument to convict. Mm-hmm. That's what investment means to me.
Well, guys, listen, I'm telling you, we've had a full, you should be full right now. Yeah. Okay? You sat at this table today, at midday on March the 2nd. You should be full because the chef delivered. Okay. And so we are super grateful for everything that you imparted upon us. And guys, hopefully you don't forget everything that we talked about. And I put it into an acronym because I want you to be able to go back and touch it, right? And say, okay, what errors am I making? And not just harp on that, but recognize, as Jared just said, every problem has a solution if you're willing to invest, right? And you might take a reinvestment because sometimes you might invest and you might not get out of it what you wanted. So you got to reinvest, right? You got to do it again and again. And guess what? Again. Okay. And so guys, is for to evolve. You got to remember, you got to evolve. You got to move with the times, or else, especially now, you will become extinct. All right. It is a polarization even greater of the rich and the poor. And you got to decide what side will you end up on. Okay. R, in terms of reinvention, right? The old you got to let that go. You gotta let the old you go. You gotta move into the new you, a new season, a new vision, a new light. Look, I colored my hair, right? Like I'm like, okay, that's it. That's it, right? We're gonna do something new, right? And that's for me. Okay, that is drastic. And some highlights, right? That is drastic. So reinvention to an extent, right? Then we have the other R, which is relationships, building the right relationships. And you'll meet people along your journey that you don't even know the importance of that acquaintance maybe initially until you get to a point where you realize, this is why I've had to kind of navigate or see this person around from here and there. One really quick thing, and I'm gonna finish this and we get out, but in addition to building relationship with you, that allowed me to start building relationship with a gentleman by the name of Jose Ardon. Right now, I will say Jose gave me some very specific, Rudy and myself, right? We were in Dubai. He gave us some very specific instructions. He said, listen, I want you to, it was a Bob Proctor course, right? Thank you for the results. He says, listen, I want you to listen. I want you to watch this every day, right? These videos, 14 days each, and so on and so forth. And he gave me video 1. I watched video 1. After 14 days, I said, okay, so I'm ready for video 2. He goes, oh. Like, I guess he forgot because it's probably so few people follow through, right? So, okay, I'm ready for video 2. Sends me video 2, but he gives me the whole suite at this point, so I don't have to keep going back. But yesterday I finished video 2, the sequence, and I said, listen, I know you gave me all of the videos, so I'm moving on to video 3, but I wanted you to know that I've completed video 2, right? And he goes, you know what? He goes, you are very coachable, right? Very coachable. And so when you talked about the relationships where you fit, the relationships where your strengths are exposed, right? I feel that with where we are, right? And just as convicted, right? And it's even more solidified because of those types of relationship building conversations and activities. All right, guys, then we've got opportunity, which is being able to recognize it, okay? Understanding your opposition and that you've got to transition. Okay. And you got to stay awake. And lastly, reinvest, right, into yourself and your personal development. Yes, but to your money and things like that as well. So guys, we are on a mission right now. Jared is leading the charge here with us in the United States as well as beyond. But we have a very, very strong goal over the next 2 years, and that's to generate $100 million in sales. We want to add 100,000 new customers to our platform, and we want to help create 20 brand new millionaires. All right. And so we are literally on a mission looking for people who want to, circumvent some of these errors, right? Who are looking for change. Jared, really quickly as we close out, can you talk a little bit about what we're doing, where we're going, and why people want to connect with you or me as we're at this phase? Because there will be a point where we probably won't be as accessible, but why is it important now for people to pay attention and possibly connect to one of us to find out more?
That's. I mean, you put it so well, in that this won't always be the phase we're in. That's just the natural law of progression. Your kids are not always going to be 5 years old. You look up, they're not always going to be newborns. We're looking at pictures of Aiden the other night, like, oh my God, I remember when he was 2 months and 5 months, and the time passes because you're either growing or dying. And so the growth goals that we have right now, we're in complete alignment on them. And I think the biggest thing for you is to ask yourself, are these the types of people I've been thinking and praying to be connected to in the right season? Does this feel right? And would this be the right fit ideally for me? Not the fit in terms of the technical aspect of what they're doing, but the right fit of people. Because people don't follow trends. People follow people. People follow people that have a key and results for what it is that they're doing and creating. So for us, you know, we talk about this vision of what we're creating over the next 2 years. We are building an entire ecosystem of results where we're going to be generating over $100 million a year in revenues in the next 2 years. That is going to require 100,000 brand new customers that we are going to put on the books. That's going to create 20 new millionaires. Now, you may be saying, I don't know. I know you don't know. Come find out. You may be saying, what if it doesn't happen? I'm saying what when it does. Not what if it does, what happens when it does. Because a lot of times what many people do is we discount and discredit the moment. We discount it and we discredit it, just like we did with investing in Bitcoin. You discounted it and you discredited it. There were people that were less educated than you, that had less money than you, that had less time than you, that maximized that moment. And now they have more than you. Not that they're better than you, but they have more than you. Why? They were able to recognize and maximize. So that's what we're inviting you to do. Take a look at what we're doing. We're going to be in Atlanta on the 5th. So that's in a couple of days. We're going to be there on the 5th. Myself, you have Tracy there, of course, our incredible host and leader. You're going to have our good friend Rudy Volsi. He's going to be flying in from New York. That's going to be there. It's going to be a host of other people. It's going to be a private, intimate encounter. And the purpose of this event is not just to have an event. No. We want to have an experience and an encounter with you. We want to show you exactly what's working, why it's working, and more importantly, where we're going. So my compelling message to you is get with us, get into these DMs, get into the inboxes, find out the location, get yourself registered, get yourself there, and more importantly, make sure you maximize this moment. Because here's what I can tell you. I like so many of you, have maximized moments, and like many of you, I have missed moments. The moments missed are moments that can haunt you for a lifetime. Don't miss this moment. Tracy, I turn it over to you.
And that is it. We're going to close the book on that, guys. Reach out. We'll see you in the DMs. Thanks for tuning in for the Midday Money Exchange. Mr. Wilkins, thank you so much for your time. Everybody, have a good day. God bless.
God bless everybody.